Oh, right. Shit. Too many Warlocks.
Hello.
Feels like either the
Damn
best
transitions. No, hold on.
Oh, we're doing a thing.
Again. This is it.
Okay.
This is an important episode.
You gonna do that over?
We're gonna do it again. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm dealing with musicians.
Those aren't some great noises.
That was a false start.
False start. Okay, give me the real stuff.
Okay.
Give me that juice.
All right. Hold on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay. Now.
Hello, and welcome once again to Too Many Warlocks. I, as always, am the benevolent Dungeon Master Puck, and most recently, Slayer of NPCs. Now then, I am joined today to play some Dungeons and Dragons by these fine masters of mysticism. These champions of various creatures and deities from realms beyond. And they are in no particular order. One, Guy with his fabulous mustache. One, always studious Mr. Penwright. One occasionally wooden Mr. Richard Bennett. And the always delightful Keythree Tea Leaf with her blazing exterior. Now, when last we left our heroes, things were dire indeed. They had traveled to a realm of the dead, a dark and terrible place. And they had found there one Black Wind, along with poor old Cookie, at the end of some bargain that Black Wind had struck for Cookie's life. And though Guy unleashed a vicious attack of all of the magic missiles he had available to him, it was to no avail, and Blackwind escaped, and Cookie fell forward, collapsing onto his front. Almost immediately, Black Cherry runs to his side. She flips him over and wraps her arms around his large form. She doesn't seem to be weeping outwardly, but you can tell she's saying something, although it's too quiet to hear. Calazar is silent. He just stands there, a blank expression on his face. And that's the scene.
We got to get him back to the keep right away. MT1 has that coin. He said we could reverse the process, but we don't got it here. We are so stupid we didn't bring it.
I'm not sure the coin works that way. Wasn't it we had to pull, that was to pull Blackwind, not to pull Cookie.
It was to take the energy the other way. He said we could reverse it. If it kill him, it can bring him back. We got to go now.
Sorry, coin?
The thing with it's got the iris on it, open up like an evil eye. They said it was draining Cookie's energy. We found it in the vault in his room, eh?
And
MT1 had it.
Okay, then Richard just reaches an arm into his leg and pulls out a small box.
That's a rock.
Coin is inside.
Bam. Snag it over there, push Black Cherry out of the way, and lean in. And I mean, anybody stop me at any time, just interrupt. He says, Lady Eris and Lady Discordia, I have served you long and I have served you faithfully, and I have never asked for a favor. I ask for one now. Let this work. And I look through the coin and willfully try and force my life energy into Cookie.
It doesn't work here.
While they're doing that,
Here, do I get that sensation? Like it's because of where we are?
You're not feeling anything from it.
Okay.
And you hear Calazar intone, we'd have to get it back from Blackwind.
Yeah.
Yes, we have some smoky son of a bitch to go after.
Well, they're doing this because this is where I can't remember. We're in a completely black. There's nothing.
It looks somewhat like the image you see on your Roll20 screen.
Okay, so it is. I gotta zoom out. I'm just seeing one spire.
Yeah. This is everything. It's just black and cold. There are some stony spires in places, but it is a dark and just foreboding, foggy place.
Yeah, I'm just going to.
So is Cookie dead? Is he unconscious? Can I check his pulse or?
You're welcome to check him out and see.
And Blackwind disappeared into a rift, right? Not a door.
Yeah, he just out.
Yeah, I will go take a look at.
All right, give me a medicine check on Cookie. Well, those are both terrible. But it doesn't take much. This is a dead body.
Okay.
I'm gonna see her.
Poisoned?
No, you're okay now.
Okay.
You can take that off.
I'm just gonna walk past all of them, and maybe as I pass Key 3, I'm just gonna be like, I'll put my hand on her shoulder as I pass by and just be like, I'll be right back, but just give me a moment. And I'm probably gonna walk about 20 feet ahead, maybe 30,
Okay.
and I'm just going to call out my snake and just kind of tell him and just be like, hey, don't let anyone interfere with this. And I'm just gonna put him behind me and just pet him on the head. Just leave him behind, and I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to call out with my awakened mind.
Okay.
Now, we heard Blackwind. Who did? Because he addressed the name, but my memory's foggy.
He did not specifically say a name. He just referenced the deity of this place.
And this is the plane of death, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm just going to call out with my awakened mind, just sitting there. And I'm just going to be like, oh, great Lord of Death, I have come to this place, but I have come much too late to warn you, and I desperately seek an audience.
You hear a response in what sounds like Celestial.
Do I speak that?
You don't actually hear it in your mind, you just hear it out across the land.
Can I understand
like
it?
echoing.
Do we all hear it?
You all hear it.
Okay.
Who understands Celestial?
This guy.
Let's see. Nope, only this one Infernal.
All right, well, Guy, you understand it as saying, I'm sorry, I don't speak common.
But would I
comes completely out of context because I didn't hear the other half of the conversation.
You didn't hear the other half of the conversation. You just hear this echoing voice in Celestial saying, I'm sorry, I don't speak common.
And now all I want is just this Celestial. What? What?
Oh, I got this. I'm going to not understand that, but I am going to cast the cantrip, Comprehend Languages.
All right, and now you understand it.
Okay, but I still can't speak it. So I'm going to reach out back to them with my awakened mind and I'll be like, do any of you speak Celestial?
I do. Who's this guy?
I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk back at this point because there's no point in, not. And I'm going to be like, that is the Lord of this plane, the Lord of Death as I am to understand it. That is who we have to make a deal with. A deal for a deal, I would say.
Well, that's easy then. Hey, big guy, the one who runs this place. I trade you. Me for him.
Do you say that in Celestial?
In Celestial.
Well, I'm going to just wave. Wait, we don't have to do that. There are other options.
A voice responds, kind of booming over the landscape in common. Oh, I suppose it was too much to hope for that you would just leave.
Oh.
Not without him. And I point down a cookie.
You have him. I took the candy. You can keep the shell.
But we need the cookies, not cookie, like just the body. It's the person.
Look, lady, he was like 2,786 years, 12 months, and 16 days old. You're gonna tell me it was too soon?
No.
Well, I could
But-
just put another year on that with 12 months. Just saying. Could just.
I operate on a
12
different
months
calendar.
instead.
Don't you fucking start with me, champion of the 10.
What interests you, oh great lord of death?
You
What?
don't even know who I am, do you?
No. I do not. I would like to very much, but I do not.
You are addressing Jergal, the final scribe. The pitiless one.
Jergal, we've come to bargain.
Yeah, I got that. But look, people die all the time. I've got thousands of names to cross off the ledger. Today alone. What could you possibly offer me?
We can cross out all those names for you.
How old are you?
20 something. My memory's a little foggy. Lost it and, stuff.
Lord of the Knowledge Collector. You fancy yourself some kind of death dealer?
I look more at myself as one who studies death. I respect death, but I also like
Yes.
the
Study is your domain, little one. You are in the middle of an identity crisis, and I really can't be bothered. You have saved more lives than you've taken in simply the last 24 hours.
We've saved 2 lives. Talk to the 15 drow that we just sent down.
We.
It was mostly Keith Pen,
So how many
much to my chagrin.
lives would it be in exchange for cookie?
I think you may be mistaken on how this works. It's not a numbers thing. It's where you are in the ledger. Cookie should have died years ago, but if not for Siric's curse.
And what about me?
You're halfway in the grave already.
There's always room for negotiation.
I suppose there is.
So what do you want? I can tell you now that the gentleman you just gave Lichdom and let go plans to fully take over everything with the power you have granted him, and I would not be surprised if it comes back to you in the end.
The
That
domain
is
is getting a
amusing.
little crowded as it is.
So where is Black Wind on your ledger?
Oh, he'll actually arrive sooner than he thinks. Every single one of them that has stepped out into the realms thinks they're the biggest fish out there. Every warlord, every king, queen, dragon, giant, lich, and more. Creatures you can't even begin to fathom with your young little minds. Think they're the biggest, baddest thing out there, and that nothing will come to claim them. They're all wrong. The only thing inevitable is death, and I am the curator of that inevitability.
What about taxes? I thought those were pretty inevitable.
Yes, that's another deity.
That one sucks.
You said you took the candy from inside the shell. Is the shell gonna last? And are you going to be offended if we try and refill it?
I've crossed the name off. Whatever happens out of that is really outside of my jurisdiction.
So if we
That's-
fill the shell,
That's enough, eh? That's a chance.
You have a chance. Why not go talk to Cyric and ask him about his shoddy curse? Immortality isn't all it's meant to be, I guess.
immortality for those who are too afraid to die.
Or for those who need to live long enough to learn a truth. Depends on how you divvy it out.
I got one more question, eh? How close was Cookie to winning? How close did he get?
To winning what?
To locking that prick Blackwind up in here forever?
Blackwind wanted Cookie to come here. He had reached out to me prior and said that he would bring me an immortal stripped of his ability to live forever, so I might cross him off my list. In exchange, the meager price of lichdom was easy to defeat.
Well, I tell you what, there's an empty shell you're going to get too, eh? Right now it thinks it's a fucking lich.
Well, be sure no one beats you to it.
I still can't seem to fathom that there's no one else that's giving you trouble. There's no others than Cookie out there.
You know what I did the last time a group of adventurers came to bother me? I abdicated my throne. Gave it up. Because at this point, it's far more entertaining for me to simply step back and watch how you all fuck it up. There's great power out there, but once you reach the top of it, it's just boredom.
I go over to Black Cherry and ask her if she'll help me carry Cookie's body.
She's wordless. She's helping you lift him up.
Small inquiry. Ledger.
Yes, champion of Titania.
How close are we to being crossed off the ledger?
Oh. You keep jumping around.
And how close was I during the drow?
Oh, I had inked up my quill for you.
We're getting nothing more from this guy. It's just torture to stay here now. Let's go.
This isn't a healthy place for living beings. Your friend is correct.
Gods. What a sad sack of nobodies that do nothing.
We can fix this, but we don't fix it by standing here talking to him, eh?
No.
Already told us all he's going to tell us.
What was that, Keith?
I don't think we're going to get any answers or anything from him.
We
One
have
last
nothing
thing.
to offer.
I'm just going to be like, yeah, I think you're right, and I'll kind of start standing by the door, just watching everybody go out.
You're out of your depth, knowledge seeker. Meditate on this moment.
Richard will be the last one out. Just a single question he wants to ask.
Richard and I are looking at each other then.
An awkward moment where it's just like, are you gonna go? Are you gonna go?
Be like, are you ready to go, Richard? Or
Pen, I need about 5 seconds.
I also need about 5 seconds. That's awkward. I can do mine in my head if you want, then I can leave.
Oh, for the love of God. He splits you both up into pocket planes. Ask your questions.
I guess I'll go ahead. Ledger, I am well out of my depth, and I'm aware of that, and I apologize for trifling with you. Death is nothing to shake your head at, but I wish to learn more of necromancy. I care not for the souls until, if anything, I could send them to you, but I wish to know more about the corpses that remain. And I figured that would be something that would interest you if you could lend some of that knowledge unto me.
I've looked the other way for a lot of undead, mostly under Clemvor's asking, but it's not really my jurisdiction. The things I tend to cross off my list usually stay dead.
Fair enough. Thank you for your time. I will come back maybe someday when I know a little bit more.
Oh, you'll definitely be back eventually.
And then I'm just going to turn around and however I get out of the pocket dimension.
All right. Get out. Get the fuck out. Yes, champion of Titania.
To know our patrons without us speaking of them.
Yes.
So tell me, who are Pen and Key Threes?
The Grand Archivist and the Horizon Seeker.
Thank you. And I'll be back before you know it.
Oh, indeed you will. Keep living that way and we'll be seeing each other soon enough.
I know I have a small shelf span. I'm not an eternal champion.
And I'm a
I'm
very
just Richard.
busy scribe.
Then Richard turns and heads out.
All right. You guys are spit out onto the desert.
Turn to Calazar and say, so where we find Sirik? I got to talk to a man about the curse.
I don't know. I'm going to start looking right away.
Well, maybe a bit of help. At least the Mage Tower is back in our hands, eh? Both version.
That is good news. And Calazar is doing his best to keep composed. And
Yeah.
he helps you and Black Cherry pick up Cookie, and some crew come down from the airship and help lift Cookie up. And they're all taking great care with his large form.
Yeah, it doesn't take any insight checks to see that Guy is just guilt-ridden.
And yeah, everybody is invited back onto the ship.
Just gonna sit down with Pen briefly and just, what did you ask about?
Becoming a necromancer. And you?
I asked who your patrons were.
I'm the smart one. Why didn't I think of that? What?
Excellent question.
You're smart, but you're not clever.
That's fair. So who? Did you get an answer?
I got an archivist.
That
Yours
certainly
is a
makes
grand
sense.
archivist.
And
Key Threes is the Horizon Seeker.
interesting. Thank
Good
you
luck
for...
finding what that means.
Yes. Well, thank you regardless for asking such a profound question.
Richard then gets up to see about Calazar.
Calazar is helping a group of mystics that are aboard the ship take care of Cookie's body. They're casting the appropriate spells to preserve it.
that's one thing off the list.
Would we
Anything I can
know
do.
about resurrections? We'd have to. That'd have to be something we'd know about, right?
You are familiar with resurrections. It's a costly process, and you need somebody who knows the spell. But Richard, what were you going to ask?
Need any help, Cal?
No, thank you. I believe we have this in hand. But
All
I
right.
appreciate the effort.
Richard hands Calazar his wooden mask.
Thank you.
You need this more than I do.
Yes, I believe I shall. He puts it on, actually, and assumes his work.
Richard then gets to work carving a new one.
All right.
And that's all Richard's doing.
Cherry is staying at the helm. When nobody dares approach her at this moment. Her crew is giving her a wide berth, and she is just driving the ship. Black Cherry. All right. What is
Perfect.
it? You're free to. This is the scene. You're free to move about this airship as we go about.
You said Black Cherry's by herself up on the
Yeah,
the
she's
wheel?
up at the helm of the ship.
Go ahead.
Richard is just gonna kind of go over and apologize for being Richard, a dick.
Do not worry about it. Anyone who has gone to the Underdark comes to hit Drow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna approach Black Cherry. Do you have any clue who Sarek is or where we might find him? Perhaps once he cursed Cookie with immortality, perhaps he could again?
Sirik is the Prince of Lies. He was immortal once, ascended to godhood.
Well, that just sounds like all kinds of fun.
He met Cookie once. Cookie insisted that this life, adventuring, was timeless, would last forever, no matter what. Sirik told him he would make him a bargain. He would live to see the adventuring lifestyle die. To see the great lie in what he believed.
Well, then Cookie has to be coming back because I don't plan on stopping adventuring.
Neither do I.
Nor I really. Richard's
But-
going to take a moment to try to grow some tobacco off of himself.
That's certainly within your capability.
Then he does it. And
All
he
right.
Grinds it down and gives it out
All right.
so that he can smoke.
All right.
I am going to approach Calazar. I didn't follow up with them. I was watching the Mystics do their thing. And I'm going to say, does the Academy have any favors left? Do we have any friends who can work with resurrections or do anything like that? I know our coffer's not what it maybe perhaps once was, but we surely have friends somewhere for this sort of thing.
If it was back in the old days, we could simply conjure up a resurrection. We'd come back to the keep. Corvan would be there, gem in hand, ready to perform the ritual. But this isn't the old days anymore. We've been gone too long. Been broken up. Caught up in our own things. We let Blackwind split us all apart.
Split you all apart.
Oh, I imagine Cookie never told you. Blackwind was one of the founding members of Avalon Keep.
Oh. This is news.
Yes, he was a wizard. But throughout our adventures, he just constantly, through study, quested for more and more knowledge until he discovered a way to take the power from the enemies we fought and make it his own. We were up at the Spine of the World Mountains, investigating an old tomb, and there was a black shadow dragon in there. The whole party was about to be wiped out. We didn't know that Blackwind had taken cover and started a ritual. Before we knew it, he had drawn the entire being of this black shadow dragon into himself. He'd taken all of its power, all of its essence, until there was nothing left, and made it his own. He saved our lives that day. But it wasn't long before he was at it again. More and more creatures. Any powers he wanted to add to his collection. For a while, it was good. There was nothing that could stand against us. We took every job. We took any job. But then he started going too far. We all tried to talk him out of it. We all tried to get him to take a step back. In the end, maybe we just enjoyed the good times too much. Corvan was the last to ask him. His heritage as a paladin wouldn't allow him to continue to stand on this. And Blackwind killed him for it.
I see. What about the contract with the academy, the ethereal plane? Did Cookie never? Is he not there now? Is that not how this works? Did he not check the box?
This is different. Cookie didn't die in battle. He didn't fall at the end of a warlord's sword or under the club of a giant. Cookie was taken to the realm of death and reaped by the scribe of death himself.
So would even a resurrection work at this point?
It's unclear. But we would need a powerful cleric to do it. Or a paladin.
Okay. And I'm just gonna walk off. This has been a weird moment for Penn. He's beginning to remember that he doesn't know everything. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that he does not know.
And Guy would have heard all of that, because after seeing the two of them head up the stairs, he goes and sits by the body. Yeah, he's going to talk to Black Cherry, but not in a group.
Yeah.
So he goes and just sits down by the body, and he's just sitting there playing with the coin and apparently not listening, but he heard that whole thing.
Yeah.
And it just confirms what you already thought. So you just, if you look close, he's prying his face off.
Oh. Alazar continues to try to keep up a brave face. The entire time he's wearing the wooden mask that Richard gave him. So, does anybody else have anything else they want to do? While we're traveling slowly back to the keep.
I have one last little thing, and then I'll get out of the way. But just after I walked off, as I'm feeling like that, I'm gonna pull the little tentacle I have out of my hat because it's all I can think to do, and I'm gonna take it to the cart and kind of mimic what MT1 did to try to locate where whatever this came from is.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check. You manipulate the apparatus with the tentacle and you finally get it to interact. And it shows a kind of black mist, small, moving at rapid speed across the land. And you see it moving across the northernmost section of the world, towards the spine of the world.
Yep.
I'm going to leave that set up,
Okay.
you know, and I'm going to go mention this to Calazar just because it's a tad alarming to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna walk back and be like, I just used the tracking device on our cart to I actually managed to procure a bit of what I can only assume to be Black Wind in the Mage Tower. And he appears to be moving at an alarming rate towards the spine of the world from what I can see on our map. Is he going back? Does he have a stronghold there? Why would he be?
He's going to the tomb of the Shadow Dragon.
I noticed that he's there now. Why?
That's where he started.
He will find a place to set up operations and then begin consolidating his power. And then he'll come to kill all of us.
That sounds like top priority.
Keep an eye on it. We have to get Cookie back to the keep first. I'm not bringing my friend to a lich when he is a corpse.
Of course. Of course.
So
Alright.
Richard is going to walk away from where Black Cherry was
Okay.
and just kind of head back to the cart
All right.
and check to see, because he's never been in the Fey Presence form for so long.
Right.
He's more or less checking to see what long-term effects have happened.
All right.
He's slowly turning more fairy than man.
More fairy than man. All right. And as you go to check it out, at first it seems more horrendous than you ever thought possible. And then it goes down to see that you have changed a little bit. But as you hit that initial gasp, you hear laughter.
Trickster King.
Woo! It is getting harder to get out of Titania's prison, I'll tell you that much. He's almost got all the back doors figured out. So how you doing, Woody?
About as well as I can.
Heard you had to save a drow. Character progression. Really turned a corner. I'm proud of you.
Richard immediately summons his sword and kind of just draws the tip to Puck's throat.
Easy, champ, easy.
Don't
I come with
speak.
good tidings.
Lowers the blade just a little bit.
How we doing on my little quest?
I don't even know who the hell Owen Stone is.
Look, I'm sure you'll come across it eventually. I believe in you. But I just wanted to come see how you're doing. Say I'm sorry about the whole Oberon thing. I promised I wouldn't tell unless he threatened my life, and he did. So here we are.
Cowardly trickster.
Well, hey, look, I'm a survivor. I ain't gonna give up. Now, this whole thing you're involved in here, you're gonna want to keep an eye on this.
No, really. I thought I was going to go blind to the entire thing.
Well, look, I just, I want to make sure you're focused is the biggest thing. And I just had one more thing to tell you. Someone's going to give you a gift soon. All of them. You're going to want to take it. Okay?
Richard nods, but his fey presence is beginning to bubble under the surface.
Oh, keep that down. You keep picking at it, it's going to get worse. Well, take it easy. Take it easy, Richie. I'll see you around. He dives off the end of the ship.
There's a small part of me that this is definitely not a Richard part.
Yep.
Me part. It just wants to kind of change my weapon into a bow and see if I can shoot him while he's going down.
I could do it. Nobody would know. Last time I saw him, he was diving off the side of the ship.
Yeah, because that's what we need, another angry god.
Yeah.
Richard is going to calm down, kind of let his fey presence stop bubbling.
And it does start to ease back to almost normal. It's a little bit, you were at about an 11, but you're only able to dial it back down to like a 6.
Yeah, that seems reasonable now.
Okay.
Because Richard's always been at least at about a 5.
Yeah. It's just ticking up there.
So he's just going to go to sleep.
Yeah, at some point after everybody's cleared off the back deck, Guy's just going to walk up to Black Cherry and just simply say, "I'm so sorry for your loss."
He is a stubborn old fool. But I won't give up hope yet. We'll find Sirik and let him know that his bargain is left unfinished. The father of lies won't like this.
To make me very happy to know that you're sticking around, eh? We need all the help we can get. We are in so far over our heads.
I cannot leave his side. That man has been too good to me.
We all owe him, eh?
Yes, he touches a lot of lives.
Yeah, and all the flirt is gone. All the bullshit's gone.
It's just gone. It's just,
yeah.
This is a serious time.
Yep. And he starts to tear up and turns around and walks away.
All right. So the ship ride back seems like forever. Like there is this gloom hanging over everything.
Richard's carved like 12 stress masks.
Yeah,
This is like a pile forming.
P3's just pacing kind of back and forth.
While K3's pacing, actually Black Cherry comes to see her. She says, "Why are you pacing? What troubles you?"
I just, the last day, I never really thought about death. And didn't seem like, I don't know, there's so much more I am supposed to do, but we have to bring Cookie back. We have to bring Cookie back. That will fix it.
We will do our best. It's this life, Miss Leaf. We set out to the world and we want to take it and make it our own. We think that we will live forever, but our deeds and our stories, that is what goes on when we are gone. We make the most of the time we have. however long it is. And she kind of pats you on the shoulder.
I'll just kind of start asking her some stories about Cookie.
Oh, she tells you
about her and
all
Cookie.
kinds of stories about her and Cookie. She tells you about the time that she had to aid Cookie in defending a tower against an armada. She tells about all the different times that they engaged in various piracies against corrupt lords. And she goes on and on about his cooking.
He does make some excellent pancakes.
He is a fine cook. He loves what he does. And somebody on the ship shouts, "We got a flare!" And people rush to the side of the ship. It's nighttime now, but there is a small, spindly man with a set of spectacles. And he's standing in an open field, waving 2 torches slowly like this.
Do we recognize him?
You guys do not.
I kind of absent mind. I've been staring at that coin iris thing pretty much the whole rest of the trip. I'm trying to figure it out, and I just sort of, when he says this, I just drop it into the coin purse with everything else
Perfect.
and walk over to the edge to have a look.
All right. You guys don't recognize this person? What do we do, Captain? It looks like he wants to speak with us. Do any of you know him?
No?
No, but we're about to.
Is he less than 30 feet away?
He is he's all the way on the ground, and you guys are flying way up. So, I mean, you can only, he's pretty far away at this point. She says, "All right, bring us above him and we'll take some ropes down."
I was thinking maybe we take the magical flying cart down.
Good idea. I shall come with you.
Richard goes and sets up Veronica.
All right, Calazar elects to stay on the ship.
Yeah.
And Veronica slash Lady Bella, Lady Bella slash Veronica, takes you guys down to this man, and he is just lit by the torches around him. And as you land, he stands perfectly still. He drops the torches lightly to his sides, kind of presses his hands together in front of him, waits for you all to come out of the cart. And he says, the Warlocks. We haven't had a chance to be properly introduced. I'm Owen Stone. It's a pleasure to meet you. And he extends his hand.
Richard is immediately saying, "God damn it."
And we're going to take a break there.
Do we know the name?
You guys do not. You have never met him yet.
That's what I thought.
Oh, did you?
We did a check.
I mentioned.
Oh yeah, you did a check, and you did a check that one Lord Devonian Zelos III employs an Owen Stone for most of his dealings.
Okay.
And also,
Heard of him, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've also told all of you that I'm going to have to steal his glasses,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
seems
but-
like a very geek thing. But for some reason, I have to do it.
Does the stealing part matter? That's the question.
Steal, take, have. There's stuff to happen.
You know, if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have been like, "Oh shit, this is going bad because Richard's gonna put fuck Owen Stone. That guy's a dick."
There's nothing wrong with Owen Stone.
Oh no, he's a dick. We'll be back. Too many Warlocks.
Can anyone really kill Owen Stone? I believe he lives on in all of our hearts.
Yeah, that didn't even come through. I didn't have that.
Anyways, welcome back. When last we left our heroes, fuck, it was sad. There was some sad shit going on. And it looks like Cookie's actually dead, but there's like plans to save him and get him back. And everybody's having some tearful, heartfelt moments and learning a lot about themselves. So, that's good. And they were flagged down by a suited individual with a pair of spectacles. And he has introduced himself as one Owen Stone. And he is just standing out in this field with everyone. And he carefully adjusts his spectacles. Now then, first of all, I'd like to offer you all my condolences.
Oh?
It is my job to know these things.
I'm going to reach my hand forward because based on what we do know about Owen Stone, he's a very important person. So I'm going to reach out my hand and say, Penwright, Avalon Knights, Arcane Association.
Yes. That's a good name for your branch.
Thank you.
Now then, I trust you all will be taking on the job of ridding the world of Mr. Blackwind. Is that correct?
As soon as possible.
My lord has a vested interest in this.
Who is your lord, if I may ask?
Devonian Zealous III.
That name means nothing to me.
He is son of Devonian Zealous II, warlord of the Forgotten Realms.
You're talking to a guy who literally lived under a rock for a few years. Come on, throw me a bone.
He is a wealthy and important lord in Waterdeep, sir.
There we go. Was that so hard?
No, sir, quite easy.
So he has a vested interest. Does that mean he intends to send aid in this quest, or?
Yes, that is why I am here.
You are our aid, or you are our link to the aid?
I am here to provide you with some aid. Of course, it's not here.
Of course.
I can lead you to where you need to go. But I thought it best to intercept you in the field.
Okay. Just for the sake of things, how do you know of us and our branch and our entire operation, apparently?
My lord has had dealings with the denizens of Avalon Keep, going on some time now.
Okay. Well, then that's enough for me, I suppose.
Been a really shitty day. Let's just get this done, eh? No games. I'm not in the mood.
Not much for games either.
Okay.
So if you'll take me on board, I can show you the way.
Did Black Cherry did come down with us?
She
correct?
came down with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn to her and just be like, of course, with your permission, Captain. It is your ship.
She stares at Owen Stone, and Owen Stone is completely stone-faced. He's just the entire time, and she gives him the stink eye, and she says, "You'll find a way to kill the bastard." Indeed, I do. Something in particular, a weakness for the kinds of things that he's made his diet of.
Then with Captain Cherry's permission, let's fucking go away.
Bring him on board. All right, then. And he comes aboard your guys' ship, and he directs you off into the mountains.
Way up north? Like,
Not quite as far up north.
okay.
It's to a section of the mountains kind of bordering the desert.
Is it near where we hop down to go find Calazar?
It's a bit north of that. And the journey takes some time, and he kind of just keeps to himself. He has a kind of document satchel that he always carries at his side and just stands near the edge of the ship watching.
I'm going to approach him.
Okay.
And just... How badly do you need your glasses?
What an unusual question,
I'm a very unusual fellow.
as I can see. Very well, not terribly, occasionally for reading.
If I were to ask if I may have them,
Certainly.
may I please have your glasses?
Takes them off, hands them to you, opens up his document satchel, pulls out another pair, puts them on.
Thank God. Didn't want to rob you of your glasses. Cool. All right. I've got some trickster prick to deal with.
Excellent, good talk.
I guess.
So there's still some more time on the journey for anybody who wishes to interact.
I want to make sure that Owen's got a chance to pay his respects at the body. I'm assuming we're not keeping it on the deck. I'm assuming we got it in a room somewhere.
He does not go take care. He does not. He shows no interest in the body.
Oh.
Richard's going to try to find some way to communicate with Puck after.
All right.
Guess
Anybody else?
I'll approach Owen Stone as well. Just
Very
with a
well.
couple of questions. I walk up from the side and just ask, you know many things, you say, correct?
It is my job to keep well informed.
What do you know of us for?
I recently signed on with the Avalon Knights Academy, doing some work in the area.
That's the extent.
Somewhat questionable repute and ability.
Sounds about right.
Overall, B- adventuring group.
Ah, that's good to know. What do you know of this Black Wind, and can you tell me exactly what you're taking us to?
Oh, of course. It is a Sunfire pod.
Would I know what that is? Can I do an Arcana check, or is that
You
something?
certainly can.
All right, let's see. Okay, take the. Oh, wow, that was once.
All right. So that's pretty good. You know exactly what that is. They are occasionally crafted by certain desert mystics. It is basically an orb of concentrated sunlight.
Oh.
That can be used as kind of a thrown weapon. They're very rare.
Would I know how detrimental these things are on a scale of 1 to 10? Like fairy fire as opposed to fireball kind of thing?
Well, it all depends on the being.
Okay.
Nudge, nudge.
Well, that is an interesting item to come across. Did your company manufacture it, or did you just acquire one?
No, we received reports of one the largest that anyone has ever seen. As a result of Blackwind consuming shadow creatures, he is still vulnerable to sunlight in certain forms.
Interesting.
So if you can get him into his wraith-like form and unleash this weapon upon him, if it doesn't outright kill him, it will weaken him greatly.
That's
Our
good.
calculations say it's about 50-50.
Those are workable odds. Thank you. And I'll just go stand by the cart and keep an eye on the little radar thing.
No problem. See to it that your group is successful for me, shall you?
Naturally, of course.
Excellent.
After Pen's left, Key 3's gonna look up and so you haven't happened to heard of Tea Leaf, other than me?
I've heard a bit of the tea leaves.
Oh,
Yes.
care to share?
A couple of tea leaves, adventuring party, moderate to high success rate, primarily lawful, B+.
Are you just telling? Would this tea leaf happen to have the first name of Key 3 or different?
No, I'm referring to another group.
Oh,
You have not yet reached B. You are still a minus.
really?
Your group overall. Don't take it too hard. You're still new.
Tend to be a little bit of an overachiever.
Well, I'm sure you'll bring it up. Is there anything else, Miss Tea Leaf?
No, thank you.
It's like talking to a wall, this guy. Like, he's just like, it's all like stats and statistics. And like... All right.
Yeah. After seeing that he doesn't go to see the body and pay his respects, he just ignores him for the
He's
rest
got
of
nothing to say to this dude now.
Nope. Nope.
All right. So, journey doesn't take long till eventually you guys are brought to this table. Oh, do you have something?
Oh, I was just hoping I'd get to yell at Puck.
Oh no, he hasn't returned yet. You call for him, but he just doesn't show,
Puck, where are you, you tiny little bastard?
Which isn't out of character for him, but it's still frustrating as hell. So when the ship finally arrives, Owen Stone says, "We are here. My lord's men have pre-prepped the location."
Pre-prepped?
Pre-prepped. And he says, "So shall we disembark?"
You mean you soften it up once before we get here? What do you mean, prepared? Eh?
There was an indigenous population that needed to be removed.
Through what?
Ah,
Were
so
they-
genocide kind of prepared.
Well, genocide's a little harsh.
Were they hostile?
I don't know.
I don't want to know. Let's go.
I already have his glasses. I got everything I need from him.
I'm going to before we go, just say, should we let them return with Cookie's body to the keep and maybe we keep the cart? I don't want to keep him out in all this longer than we have to.
Oh, it won't be long, I assure you.
Okay.
I'm sure the spells and wards you have in place will preserve the body as long as you need.
Practical.
Can we leave the ship up in the air again and go down in the cart?
Absolutely.
Let's do that
I'll
then.
look at Veronica.
All right. You hook up Veronica, and you can see the smoke trailing off into the sky as you come down to this ruined village. And the whole thing is in tatters. There's buildings aflame. There are bodies everywhere. They're
Civilian, like peasant people bodies?
They are
Soldiers.
insectoid. You can do a nature check if you want to identify the species of these creatures.
Not that it really matters, but sure. Let's see if I got a name. Probably not.
Oh, crap. I rolled twice.
I want to make
First
sure.
one was 19, though.
Right. First one is 19. Okay. Hang on, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. Hey, these are like mantis people, like oh fuck, what's the name? I forgot it already. But they're insect-like mantis people. You know them to be primarily nomadic, and they tend to live out in the deserts.
This is odd. Not very often they'd set up a village.
No, they were
Less often they'd set it off in a mountain.
worshipping the source of sunlight. They wouldn't allow us to take it, so they had to be removed.
You couldn't maybe talk to them first and make some kind of negotiation?
I wasn't involved in those negotiations. We had sent out another team.
Let's get this over with so we can get rid of this racist prick.
Just so if we run across them, what's the name of this other team?
Oh, they'll be waiting for us inside.
Oh, okay, great.
They'll be waiting for us inside, team.
Oh, sorry. Team 001.
What grade are they?
Looks around. A.
Interesting. All right, let's continue.
Bless you.
Oh, crap, I didn't. I thought I turned off my mic.
It's okay. You guys continue forward, and there is this cave, and you're just walking by, and more bodies of these people. Some appear to be civilians, some appear to be soldiers. And they're just scattered about. There is the entranceway to the cave is adorned in various carvings and things like it is a temple. And as you walk inside, there are 4 humanoid figures standing shoulder to shoulder at attention to the side of this opening. Each one of them constructed of metal and wood.
Warforged.
We've only ever seen one other one. At least Guy certainly has. Are they similar to MT1?
Similar, but there's something very cold about these ones. They almost seem like statues. They're lifeless. Whereas MT1 seems to have like a personality and some.
Yeah.
These are like just stationary objects.
So we would probably recognize, because we've seen constructs before at the lab, we would probably recognize that these aren't alive so much as they are golems-ish kind of construct things, I'm assuming.
They look a lot like MT1 in their general make and design.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can tell from the looks of them, one is done up like a rogue. One is done up to look like a fighter. One is carrying a warhammer along with a shield. And in its chest is a medallion that shows a holy symbol on it.
And
Then there is another one that has stored within its forearm various arcane implements and spell components.
And have they registered our presence at all, or are they just...
They do not move or acknowledge you at all.
I look at Owen Stone and say, after you?
Absolutely. Owen Stone walks up and he turns to each of them. Team 001, report. And the one that is adorned as a fighter repeats in a monotone voice. Resistance minimal. Quest complete. Artifact key secured.
what?
Let's get the artifact and get out of here.
What are these?
The future.
I'm going to, with my awakened mind, say to the other three, only the other three, I don't think we want to do much work with these people after this point. This is a necessity right now, but I don't think we want to continue working with them.
Are we allowed to respond to that? Does awakened mind work both ways?
Yeah, you could do it. You're on the party line. You can.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Some of them have like spots of blood on them. Like they're clearly have been in battle.
You hear back, this guy just moved to like number 3 on my hit list.
We get in, we get out. We leave this place behind. And don't deal with soulless automatons.
Or Warforged.
They're not the same.
I was referring to him.
All right. And so, but outwardly, I'm just like, yes, let's continue.
All right. So again, you move past a throng of bodies that have been pushed to the sides to give you a clear walkway until you're brought to a collection of these Sunfire pods. Each one roughly the size of a basketball. Generally, you're lucky if you can find one the size of an orange, from your knowledge. And there's roughly a dozen here.
Are they fragile? Do you have to be careful with them, or is it a very much you purposefully have to detonate one?
Generally, it's impact based. Does anybody want to do a perception check?
Yeah, sure.
Well, when you put it like that.
I hate to say it, but Guy wouldn't right
He's
now.
not gonna do it.
He is burning holes in the back of Owen Stone's head. And he's wearing it. I mean, this boy wears this shit on his face. If anybody looks, he's angry.
And Owen notices your anger and doesn't react to it at all.
Uh-huh. Number 2, fucker. Number 2. You just made number 2. All inside my head, of course. I know how powerful he is.
Pen, what you notice with your roll is that the doors to this place were smashed in, and there seems to be a large portion of this village we're taking refuge inside.
I mean, I'm not going to say that right now, but
Thank Christ.
this, this, hardly seems necessary.
I suppose not. However, they were handed a task and they succeeded.
Again,
But
very
brute force is not always the best approach to solving a task.
True, but it was efficient.
yes, very efficient. I'm just gonna let that one just drip.
So why don't you have your metal and wood friends there pick up the orb?
Well, very well. Team 001, and they move in unison. New quest. Acquire Sunfire pods. Bring them to the Black Cherry. Quest accepted. And they move forward. And they start picking them up.
Are they coming with us?
I was
I'm
about
gonna
to.
pick one up.
All right.
Why aren't they going on this quest? According to you yourself, they are a higher adventuring class than we are, so why are they not the ones handling and dealing with this issue?
They are not yet ready. These are prototypes.
What division of your company or whatever you work for works with this stuff? It's very interesting.
This has been a pet project of Lord Zelos for quite some time.
Ah, I see.
He's finally acquired the necessary materials for a field test. I dare say it is quite the success.
Yes. The only thing that would be better is if they could take down a Wraith Lord.
You
Yes.
know, maybe acquire something without killing an entire village?
Perhaps. I'll put it on the suggestion.
Why are we here? Why did you flag us down? You don't need us.
That's not true.
We done nothing and we got the orb are going on the ship in a minute. I don't understand why we had to be here.
Because Blackwind will come for you.
Ah, we're the bait. Aha.
Yes. The amount of manpower and general effort that will be put towards finding him is quite inefficient. However, we do know that he will come to kill you. And if we prepare you with the ability to destroy him when that happens, he will be removed from the board.
And what if we told you we could tell you exactly where to find him and cut us out of the equation, you know, relieve yourself of the middleman?
Well, we could send the prototypes with the Sunfire pods and hope for the best.
Not all of them.
No. I don't trust them. Don't trust you either. But I think maybe
Fair, but I get that a lot.
maybe I understand you.
Hmm.
We are the bait, that I understand. We wiggle and wiggle until he show up.
Yes, he has a
But
vested
because-
interest in destroying you all. So there's that.
So, we are the bait, you are the hook.
Well, ideally you would all be the hook. Complete the circle.
How truthful do I think he's being?
Oh, you can certainly look into that if you'd like.
Nope.
Pretty good. You feel like he's pretty truthful.
And other than
Richard is standing here not trusting a fucking word he's saying.
other than the fact that we will have to deal with this matter one way or another, what are we to gain from handling this situation? Surely this is an interest of your end as well. What other than this small investment, what else are y'all setting forward?
Mr. Blackwind is sloppy. He is a wild card. My lord would like him removed from the board. And that is where you all come in. When he comes inevitably to lay waste to your home, if you have the proper equipment and capability, you can repel him or destroy him, and he will be removed.
And how long until we become a wild card?
Well, that's rather up to you.
Ben, I know I'm not in command, but let's get the hell out of here.
Of course. And I will turn coat and leave.
Very well. I will find my way home with Team 001.
Good.
After you put the orb on the ship, right?
Of course. Can't have you failing to kill Blackwind. He'll only grow more powerful. And of course, the prototypes aren't ready for mass production yet.
As we're walking out, was there any building that remained, anything at all, or?
There are scraps of buildings that remain. These are mostly like hide huts and like a tent city, really, and it's been turned over and wrecked.
Just before I walk out, I look at Owen Stone and I say, okay, I work with you on this one.
Excellent.
We are the bait. You are the fisherman, eh?
Yes, of sorts. Lord Zelos thanks you for your contributions to this effort.
I don't speak for these other three. I just speak for me.
Very well.
Just on my way out, I'm going to kneel for a moment just in the middle of it all and just kind of take a moment to just take it all in and just pay something of respects, because this wasn't right.
Yeah, this was a massacre that happened here.
Richard's definitely not pleased, but he's not showing the same kind of level of reverence that Penn is. Mostly due to the fact he's seen this so many times in the Underdark.
He looks like he's ready to stab him. Even though he just agreed to work with him. Just open
Just like
rage.
seething. Just seething.
You have what we need. There's no way I can't do this. Fuck.
Then I guess I'll stand up and nod to the others and continue back towards the ship.
Very well, Warlocks. If there's nothing else you require, I will bid you good luck.
I think I'm just
Just like
when we get the chance, I'm just giving Veronica a quick.
All right.
Because
He
we're not
waves you off.
saying another word.
As you leave, he shouts out to you, Lord Zelos will be doing exhibitions soon. You will all be invited.
We're going to have to go, aren't we?
We should go regardless. The best way to deal with someone like that is to keep them close until you know exactly how to handle them.
All right.
To know thyself is to know thy enemy.
Yeah,
Lady
after we're separated from them, it's like, you know what? I never been bait for two fish at the same time before. Eh?
You guys are flown back up to the ship and then set back on your journey back towards the keep.
Just very quickly out of character. This is an emotional episode.
I kind of knew it would have to be.
Sadness first, now rage.
7 stages. It's like
It definitely didn't need to be said, but I said it anyways.
Yeah. No, absolutely. This is how I'm gonna pull them heartstrings. All right. So yeah, you're back on the ship, and as you guys exit the cart, Black Cherry says that man gives me the creeps.
Yeah, I think his rating system for venturing parties is quite flawed.
I just think he can shove it up his ass.
Everyone might want to step about 30, maybe 40 feet away from
You might want to retreat to a safe distance.
And confirm that we actually did get the orbs on the ship.
You did.
Has everyone backed away at least 30 feet?
Have you told us to?
Yeah.
I just said that.
Yep.
I didn't know if that was in or out. So yeah, I guess I'm just like, okay, I'll stand on the other side of the mast or whatever.
And then Richard just explodes in Fey presence.
All right. Just vicious anger. All right, you do this like you're down in the cargo hold where the cart is, so nobody else is around you. You're just
All you hear are distant shouts of "Ah!" You know.
the usual. So you guys now have a dozen of these basketball-sized Sunfire pods.
Carry these. I'm gonna turn to Black Cherry and be like,
Oh no, I didn't take the horse away.
The horse is fine. The horse is a blazing nightmare. It is not intimidated by you.
Are these cannonballs? Have you ever worked with these before?
It's not an intimidation, it's a frightening thing.
Well, yeah, she's all right. We'll say she's all right. Lady Bella / Veronica is okay with this.
Just a little wigged out.
Yeah. Black Cherry says, they're very simple. You can throw them into a catapult. We can fire them from the cannons. Or you can hurl them with enough strength or drop them down. Or we can put them in a big pile, cover them up in something, and detonate them at the right time.
A little bit of all three sounds nice. I say after having pulled myself out of the cargo hold. No longer in Fey presence.
Okay, you're good now.
But no, you still see like remnants of it.
Yeah, wisping away.
Out of character. Has the Trojan horse been done in this world before?
No, nobody knows about the Trojan horse.
Oh. And in character, I'm just going to mention to the others that last one sounds interesting. What do you take to someone who wants to absorb everything?
Give him something powerful. Maybe we need to capture something he'd be interested in.
Disguise it very well as something he'd be interested in.
Perhaps. Calazar emerges. Then he says, we should look for a metallic dragon.
Okay, there goes my plan. I was about to say, give me a few days. I can just do a big wooden dragon thing around it. But no.
It's the peak of power in this world. And it's the only thing he hasn't been able to absorb yet.
Holy shit, man. You are seriously considering using the platinum dragon as bait?
Not a platinum dragon, just a metallic dragon. A bronze or a copper will do.
Sorry, I got thinking about the core from the ethereal plane. I thought maybe Bahamut was in on this. Eh?
Not quite.
Well,
there are some we can ask for assistance, and they are good creatures.
Go on.
But you have to understand that if we fail, he will become more powerful than any of us can manage.
How much do we want to bet on us succeeding? I don't know I want to risk that much.
We're not like them and I'm going to kind of just point back at the village and everything. We don't do things like that, so I wouldn't want to do it in a way that would directly risk another creature's lives, especially not one that is benevolent. Surely we can.
It's too much of a risk.
Do we know? Does anyone at the academy know anything similar to polymorph? Do we know that can be cast on one of us, perhaps?
I can polymorph, but I don't know if I could polymorph somebody into a metallic dragon.
What about an object?
What kind of object?
Let's say a small forest.
Would the forest have any abilities that he might find useful?
Well, let's see. It'll be grown from bits of me. Maybe.
A deity, perhaps, but I'm not certain his spell will work for those.
We are getting a bit ahead of ourselves. I think we need to get back to the keep. We need to put Cookie in a safe place. And we need to talk to the other members. This is beyond the four of us, eh?
Yes, it may be a group project.
And I tell you what we don't do, and I can't believe I'm saying this. We don't run off half-cocked with no plan.
That's probably a good idea. This is going to take a lot of effort, and quite frankly, I don't know when he'll be coming. We lost track of him for a while before he was captured.
They'll have him on radar. We can either keep watch on it or something to that effect.
And until then, we spend every second of every day getting tougher and harder and meaner and more of bastards than we already are.
Absolutely.
This guy we are facing, he don't play no rules. None.
He does not. And he's got a flair for the dramatic, so he's going to let us know when he's coming.
That we just saw make me sick like it make you sick. But if that slow us down, we're not going to do this, eh?
What did you see? I'm sorry, I stayed on the ship.
We saw genocide.
But
Our man Owen Stone got a very direct approach.
They killed a village. Think about the times when another house falls.
They use
Who?
automatons. Owen Stone under Develian Zealous III.
Who were the automatons?
Team 001. They were
Soulless Warforged.
adventurers. They had class attributes,
You,
not like us, obviously, but
you said that you liberated the Mage Tower, correct?
Both versions, yes. Actually, no, so we wouldn't know that. Sorry.
No.
We did
Yeah,
the-
you've just done one.
Yeah,
we
didn't do the other one.
liberated the ethereal mage tower. Yes.
You've met MT1 then.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did they look like him?
They looked like him, but they were not the same. There was no life force there, not in the same way.
And they were specialists, eh?
Do you know if anything was taken from the Mage Tower?
We would not know.
Not on the ethereal end.
An individual.
Damn it.
The only
Okay.
thing that was taken was that individual we couldn't get to, but we assumed he was taken by Blackwind.
You know something you're not said yet? Please share.
MT1 is special. We found him in an ancient temple. Well, parts of him. Plans, really. It was an ancient mage. put a bunch of things together to create adventurers. We all worked together, and we created MT1, and we poured ourselves into it. And in the end, he was a little bit of all of us. But we locked the plans and procedures to do that away in the Mage Tower.
On the ethereal or on the material?
On the material.
Oh, I've got some words to say. Not to us, not to you.
We were in a terrible rush. We were trying to save Cookie and Calazar, and
No, I understand.
Art.
It's all our fault.
wait. Then why did he help us?
Who?
Why did he give us the orb?
We're expendable. If we die fighting this cause, this being that he wishes to eliminate, and we die and he is also eliminated, then kills two birds with one stone.
Why did he say he wanted to help us?
One Owen stone.
He said he knew Blackwind would come after us and that he was supplying us with a means to defend ourselves. And that all they wished was for him to be eliminated, a wild card removed from the board, as it were.
Makes sense to me.
Yes, very.
He is definitely a wild card. This is about as normal a day as I get whenever I go back to the Underdark.
We're just glad we made it out with you and Mr. Squishy Face as well.
And I can't
Richard
thank you
just-
enough for rescuing me.
And Richard's just about to hand Calazar a cigarette that he's made.
He's
And he
like,
puts another one in. It's just kind of a trying not to be in the thank God I'm not in the Underdark anymore kind of feeling.
yeah. He's like, thank you, but no, I can't stomach the smell of smoke after the last thing. Anyways. So I guess let's get him back. How do we feel about the dragon option?
Too risky.
Or to not, I'd rather find a way to either make ourselves appear like something he would want, but I don't want to bring any others in specifically. If they were already with us and connected to Cookie and were doing it of their own volition, but I wouldn't go ask someone to come on this mission.
Wait. Has he ever seen what is essentially a half man, half fairy?
He is not.
I'm the fucking bait.
It's possible.
We're all the bait. Eh? We don't
Not
need a
this
dragon. He told us ourselves. He's coming right to us. Eh?
He
We
is.
mind the keep. We wait. We get better. When he show up, we fight. If we can't fight him, we blow the fucking place sky high with the radiant light from these goddamn things.
We'll have to do it at night.
The longer we wait, though, the stronger he's going to get, the more lives he could manipulate, take, grow stronger.
He who has advantage takes control of the battlefield.
It's
He
not
who
up to
owns
us.
the battlefield has advantage.
It's not up to us when he shows up.
We know where he is.
If he has a flair for the dramatic, perhaps we can play off of that.
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm not sure exactly, but maybe play into use that to draw him out?
He has always loved a good story. Maybe we can use that. But his next thing will be to raise an army. As powerful as he becomes, this simple numbers game.
Let that happen. We have to go to him. We can't endanger the people at the keep. Melissa, William, Tommy. We can't.
Cookie couldn't handle him. What makes you think the four of us have got a fucking chance?
We can take others, but we... Do you really want to
You
put
run
them...
the same risk as bringing them from the keep to Blackwind. If we keep it in the keep, we at least choose where we fight. We're not running in blind to a cave in some unknown spine of the world that no one knows what the hell looks like.
I know what it looks like, Khalasar says. I was there.
Yeah, you were.
You understand, I wouldn't recommend this blindly. The only reason I say it is because right now he is fresh, he is raw, he has just claimed his form. I wouldn't even say we could do it anytime soon. We need to rest, we need to collect ourselves, but we can't wait. The longer we wait, if he comes to us, it's because he's confident and he's ready and he knows that he could destroy us. And I don't believe that we're going to be able to out-prepare that.
You're not wrong.
I believe the best chance that we have is to gather everything that we can, everyone that we can, that we feel comfortable taking with us and pushing while he still hasn't gotten used to essentially what he's got and before he gains following. That's honestly what I personally believe is the best option.
You're talking about starting a war.
If
You
he's
know
a
that,
lich,
eh?
if he's a lich now, he can raise that army anywhere he can find enough dead.
Are there dead there, Khalasar?
Just the monsters we left behind, or what's left of them.
The world is full of the dead.
It is.
Not to mention the keep.
Maybe we should see what he's up to. Do you still have him tracking on the cart's radar?
Of course.
And he rushes down to go check it out. Then you guys kind of come along with him. And you see the kind of black mist moving across the sky. It's gone away from the spine of the World Mountains, and it's moving towards the Star Mountains.
Wow.
Those are much closer to the keep, right?
Yes, they
The
are.
lab was in
That's the
Star
lab
Mountains.
that we...
The lab.
We blew up the lab.
We need to get back to the keep. We need to talk to Core and anybody else who was here when Backwind was here.
Yes. Let's head back now. And the journey continues for it takes you another day to get back there.
So that's
All which time I'm imagining we're arguing about how we're going to do it.
Oh yeah, you guys can continue conversations. Are there any conversations you guys want to have before you arrive back at the keep?
I have a couple, but they're all individuals, so like I'll trade off with people not to take up time. But
Oh, of course.
I think at one point I'm going to try to find Richard whenever he's off on his own.
All right.
That's most of the time.
Yeah, he spends a lot of time on his own.
I'm just gonna approach him and be like, Richard, I have to ask because I know going to the Underdark had to be a word I can't even fathom in the meaning of difficult for you. But I also know that the things that happened down there probably also weren't the healthiest to have to go through again, especially after what had already happened. And firstly, I just want to make sure that you're still feeling confident and just okay overall.
Ben, I don't think I was ever confident or okay.
That's fair. But
You know what they do to slaves in the Underdark?
only the bits and pieces you've revealed to me.
Well, what you're suggesting about bringing someone to the keep is exactly what happens in Menzo Baronson.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I have a cold and this voice is hurting.
That's okay.
You mean bringing them to the keep or going to him?
Going to him. The first things they do is they send in the slaves. The grunts. If you're lucky, you survive. If you're strong, you survive.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched too many people I call friend and family die.
Mm-hmm.
And each time it's been drow. And then you get captured and put into a new slave ring. It all depends on what happens. Do you win the fight? You do. Then you stay slave to someone that you hate. You lose the fight. Become a slave to a new master. It's all again and again. The war. It's non-stop. And human slaves in the Underdark are seen almost as a prized possession. It's like having a little trophy that you show off to everyone else to say, look at how cool I am. Cool is not the right word. I can't think of the right word. Jesus, that voice.
I would say something closer to cruel, but yes, if I am to understand correctly.
Doing it at the keep means that we have home field advantage. It also means that we can send those who we care about away. You can hide them in the deepest parts. You can make sure that they stay alive. You make sure that you never have to watch children be slaughtered. Make sure that they never have to watch it.
I agree with that concept. I agree that if we can send them away, that there is a more viable option in remaining at the keep. I'm more concerned. I just want to make sure. And I pull out my healing staff off of my back and I just hold it in front of me and I look at him and I say, of all people, do you think I really would be someone who would use this? Do you really think that I am just the type of person who would seek this out and use this actively?
No.
You've seen
but you know what you need to be.
Exactly. And all I'm asking is, I've seen time, and I put it back, and I've seen time and time again where we've gotten into situations where I know things have touched you, whether it be emotionally, things from your past or whatever, where you've rushed in or where you've gotten caught up in the moment. And the only thing I say to you is, you took on the role as guards person. I took on the role I was given, and I became a healer because I wanted to make sure you were all safe. And within making sure that you were all safe, part of that is making sure that you don't do anything that could potentially get you and by extension all of us killed. I understand that the scenarios we've been in have not been easy for you, and I would never presume to understand the pressure, but I just need to make sure you know we can't. It's like Guy said, if we run in half-cocked, we're at a point where we can genuinely die. 2 of you almost did, and I need to make sure you understand that if you are with us, I will never ask you or, try to get you to do anything that I would not do myself in the same scenario. I just need to make sure that I know that you also won't put us in a situation where we're all at risk, even if it means it's difficult.
And whenever I put myself in danger, it's to either protect you or because I know I'm the only one that's going to be in danger.
We're all in this boat together, my friend. We can't. I know you have such a hero's heart, and I know that you may not even value yourself as much as perhaps you should, at least in my eyes. But because of that, you have to understand we're all equal, and I'm going to keep you alive. So understand that if you get yourself in a scenario where I have to come in and make sure you stay alive, that by extension can put me at risk, because it's what I'll do. That's how teams work, and we have to operate as one, just so that none of us have to deal without the others. I just want to make sure you stay okay, and I want to make sure we stay okay. It's important.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Just one thing.
Of course.
If we can avoid it, we never go to the Underdark again.
I will do my best to make sure you never have to set foot in the Underdark again if I can help it.
Calazar from another room, seconded. Black Cherry, third.
And that's going to wrap up my conversation.
All right. Does anybody else want to have a conversation before we arrive back at the keep? Anything else you want to unlock?
I want to find...
Sorry, just before Penn leaves, Richard hands him a mask. No, I think we have kind of a theme thing going on at this point.
I always have use for more parts.
Still not getting my arm.
Worth a shot.
I love that. Okay. Anyone else? Guy, you were gonna?
Yeah. I want to go find Calazar and Keythree, specifically those two.
Sure. Keythree, where are you at?
Probably hanging out with Lady Bella.
Okay. Calazar would still be with Cookie.
Veronica.
So I'll go find Calazar first and just ask him to accompany me down to speak with Keythree.
Of course. And he comes with you.
And I get down there and kind of look around, make sure none of the crew are around. We don't need a dragon, and we don't even need us. And I take out the coin with the iris in it.
Mm-hmm.
If he knows this still exists, he has to come and get it. Because if MT is right, we can reverse the process. He can't let this exist.
Calazar says, may I see that?
I would prefer in the long run, that's why I came here, I would prefer in the long run Keythree hold it. She's our treasurer. Maybe if you could make it sort of hidden so he can't see it right yet until we're ready.
There is a ritual that I can do with this to channel energy out of it or through it from one thing into another. But I would have to get him to sit still for a while.
That's got to be easier than killing the unkillable.
Maybe.
Perhaps, Guy, you are excellent at distracting. And if he has a flair for the dramatic, perhaps, in the stories my grandfather always told me, the villain always would have a big speech just before he
does love to monologue. I would frequently have to tell him to shut up in battle and just cast a fucking spell.
So if we can get him kind of in a situation where distracted, talking. Flair for the dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
The face changes. Just
Oh.
joy. I can do this. This I can do.
This is my fucking jam.
I know this.
All right. Well, maybe we can work this as a plan. Miss Tea Leaf, you can hold on to the coin then. He hands it over to you.
I will put it in a very safe pouch.
All right. I'll have a ritual ready just in case.
Hide it until we want him to know. Eh?
Absolutely. This will be tricky, but perhaps we can do it. We have the advantage. We do know him very well. And he doesn't really know all that much about you guys. Me, Spoonie, and even Tommy. He knows us, but he doesn't know anything about you.
He's in
Perhaps
for a
our
fiery
disorganization.
Sorry, go ahead.
Perhaps our disorganization could play into a strength if we can keep him distracted long enough and not really know what's going on.
That's entirely possible. He doesn't know what to expect from any of you. If it was just us, he would know exactly what he's after.
About dancing. Just I got a handle.
This
you are okay to hold that thing?
Ask,
eh?
Is the rock box with it?
No, it's been taken out of the rocks box now.
Richard still has the rock box.
Yep.
I don't know what he's thinking about doing with it. He just has it.
I mean,
What the hell am I supposed to do with this kind of thing?
Probably at some point should maybe find like a lead box or something to try and hide it a little bit better, but I can hold on to it.
Empty one, he put it in a rock, eh? Maybe when we get back, we get him to do that again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We could work that out. I think we have good plans. All we have to do is resurrect my best friend and defeat my old best friend, and we'll be good.
And I just put my hand on his poor old shoulder. Just give him a squeeze, not a word. Just and then why don't you go rest? Eh?
Yeah,
I watched the body.
I'll go have a trance for a while.
Thank you, Key3.
Anytime.
Yes, thank you, Misty Leaf. And he takes off and goes and has an elf trance for a couple hours in a corner. And the ship arrives. And go ahead, Richard.
Sorry, just one thing. I know that I've asked this pretty much every episode now.
Yep.
How has the staff of the Adder finally integrated?
It is folding. You know how like when a tree grows over like a chain link fence and it slowly begins to envelop it? That's what your arm is doing to the staff.
Okay.
It's slowly pulling it in, and you're about 45% of the way there.
Oh, Jesus. This is going to be like another 7 episodes.
But look, the payoff is going to be incredible. Just you wait. There's a reason I'm padding it out. Okay.
Oh, I am really looking forward to this now.
When you guys arrive at the keep, you can see that there appears to have been a party that went on the night before. And now a bunch of people have rushed to the crab shack, and the crab shack is looking quite sad. It's kind of ramshackle now. And as you guys all unload, Cookie's body is brought into the crab shack with reverence, and the other team is inside with Tommy and Spoonie. And they all kind of stand to the side, aghast, with sad faces as you together move Cookie's body into his room and kind of lay it down. And then eventually everybody heads up into the main area of the Cookie's Crab Shack. And there's just a long moment of silence as everything kind of begins to sink in. And you guys haven't had a lot of interactions with the other team, but you can see that they are all equally shaken by this event, as you have been. And finally, the gnome bard speaks up, and he hops up onto the stage and he says, "All right, so who's got a plan?" And that's where we're going to end with you guys today.
I believe I have something to say.
Indeed, you would.
Well, looks
Oh wait,
like
there's a cutscene.
oh, hold on, jump the gun.
Absolutely. A black wraith-like mist moves across the night sky towards a ruined laboratory. And he is flagged down by a man in a suit holding 2 torches. He lands and takes a look at the scattered bodies of various researchers and monsters, half-finished creations. It's a general smorgasbord out here. Somebody did a number on this place. And who are you? My name's Owen Stone. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Blackwind. Look, I don't do autographs, and this is not a good place for you to be right now, so better take off there, little buddy. Oh, well, I'm actually here to make you an offer on behalf of my lord. Your lord can be part of my empire when I'm finished. I assumed that would be your choice. But I figured I'd extend the offer earlier. When things fall apart for you, and be certain that they will, come and see us and rethink the position. And he lashes out with a blade of black mist towards this suited figure, and it passes through it and shimmers away. And he says, "A projection. Perhaps you're not as stupid as you look. Perhaps I am not, Mr. Blackwind, but I trust that we will see you soon." And then he fades away. And Blackwind stretches out, cracks his knuckles, and says, "Let's eat!" And tendrils reach out to the various creatures on the ground. And that's where we end.
I'm gonna kill them both.
Oh, am I glad we stayed through the credits. Those post cuts are awesome. Well, I guess we'll have to find out what happens with the Warlocks and the other team next week. Join us Sunday for a special crossover episode, maybe.
And also further crossovers on Monday.
Too many Warlocks.
Too many Warlocks.
All right. Whew. So yeah, what's going on with the channel? What's going on with your stuff?
Oh yeah, like we got to do the addendum. Sorry, it was emotionally heavy episode.
I
know. What's everybody got going on? Deep breath.
We even ended early.
We did. We ended a little bit early today, just because I didn't want to throw us into anything larger yet.
No, the timing's good.
Yeah.
I like this. This was an entire episode, no combat. I liked this.
Yeah, no, this was
all RP. Yeah,
you guys were due. You guys were due for a full RP episode. So. All right. So, what's everybody working on these days? Who would like to go first? All right, Pen, what do you got going on?
I'm still doing the Moose Man, and
still doing the Moose Man. Existential horror.
I've been done with the Moose Man. It's just that I'm editing and posting and such.
I see.
and streaming Minecraft and such as usual.
Absolutely, absolutely. We should hook up. Gilbetta and I are actually building the keep in Minecraft on Tuesdays. So if you want to hop in on that, let us know. And Dawn, what are we doing? What's going on at Roll for Initiative?
We've got a review video going up tomorrow, and we've got a special new exciting video going up Thursday that I can't quite say what it is yet.
Ooh, well, we'll
Thursday,
have to check that out.
It might have to wait till next week, but
okay. Well, Thursday or next week, but we'll definitely check it out. Richard, what have you got for us?
Oh, it's me this time. Cool. So
We're
earlier
gonna do last this time.
about almost 3 hours ago, I released the third chapter of Tales of the Shadowmancer. So check that out and look out this week, because I promise I will finally have done the second part of Memoirs of Richard, because I will finally sit down on the computer for 6 hours and wait until I'm finished them, because I'm sick and tired of waiting.
Yeah, dedicated. All right, perfect. Love it. So be sure to check out all of that work in the blog. And Guy, what's going on with Dirty 20?
Two things. One, the video for this upcoming week, appropriately enough, apparently is on character death, and I may change the title to character and important NPC death. What a week. And second, this Saturday.
Yes, it is.
My one shot. Yeah, 5 days. We're doing a little heist with a twist. We've got Puck and Satoru from this game. We've got 3 of the players from the other game. All of them going into a little adventure, a little one shot, a little one night stand, so to speak. That they have no idea about. They don't know what each other's characters are, so they're going in completely blind. And I can tell them now that 5 minutes before the game starts, you will also each be receiving a secret mission to attempt to accomplish for many thousands of extra bonus points.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Oh, excellent. I apologize in advance to everyone for how I am as a player. Now then.
After what you did to us this week, you'd be lucky if I don't kill you in a fair.
So that has been Too Many Warlocks today. Be sure to give us a follow on Discord and our Facebook page if you want to keep track of what we have going on here. Give us a follow on our Twitch channel. We will be giving away some special prizes at 200 followers and every 100 followers after that. And of course, be sure to tune into our shows throughout the week, because we're doing a lot more gaming these days, so we'll be throwing up streams of games all over the place. So definitely follow to keep track of that stuff. And if you need to catch up on episodes, we got all that stuff on YouTube for you. In the meantime, I think that's class dismissed.